Well, here we are with SceneDailies.com, Bob Pockers. My name is Bassmasters, and we are rolling on with the Rowdy/SceneDaily.com driver preview based on the top 20 from the NASCAR Illustrated season preview, and we're up to number 4, Kyle Busch.
All right.
I know. Kyle Busch, Bob. What's your take on Kyle Busch? A very talented guy, obviously, but hasn't had what it takes to really contend for a title yet. Always had problems in the chase. What are your thoughts there?
I think this could be Kyle Busch's year. I really do, because this new point system will help him. He won't really have to worry about the first 26 races. I think he'll win 3 or 4 races. If he's in the top 10 in points, great. If not, he'll get in on the wins. So I think he can race to win, and his team can concentrate on learning for things so that when the chase comes around, they'll be strong.
But in the chase, this guy had 2 DNFs last year, right? And that could be a problem in the chase again. So he's going to have to show some maturity or something to get those finishes he needs in the chase, is he not?
I think so. I think he needs to, I want to say, have more luck than some of the other guys, but he needs to hope that his style of racing doesn't come back to bite him in those 10 races.
Does he have an issue with other drivers? I mean, he had Rudeman wreck him. I mean, do you think he has an issue with other drivers?
I think he races hard, and so at times that might ruffle another driver's feathers, especially during an event. But I think in general, guys don't kind of dislike Kyle or think that nobody looks at him as a dirty driver.
Right.
They look at him more as a driver who sometimes takes chances that he shouldn't.
And maybe
does that make sense?
It does.
He's not a guy who's going to bump you out of the way so that you're going to want to bump him back.
You just might not cut him very much slack.
Right, and he's a guy who's going to cut you off and hope that you give him slack.
I see. I got you. Now, talk about, some of what he has to learn to get the points that he needs in the chase. Is it just aggressive behavior out there? I mean, because honestly, there's a lot of points you give up between 10th and 20th, even on a day when you can't win the race.
I don't think he needs to learn anything. He needs to learn to put it all out of his head and race. He is a great race car driver. He may not win 6 titles because he's going to have some DNFs in a chase. But when he puts together 10 great races, he's going to be uncatchable. And I think that's the way he's got to look at it. He's just got to go out and race and not change his style and say, okay, there may be some years where I win 2 or 3 chase races and I don't win the title because I had a DNF or 2, but there's also going to be those years where I don't have that DNF and I'm going to win running away.
A lot of talk about this guy running other races, specifically nationwide and trucks, and having tremendous years in both those series as far as the wins. Does that take away from his Cup effort? Jeff Gordon doesn't do much of that. Jimmy Johnson doesn't do much of that. What are your thoughts on that issue?
I don't think it takes away from his effort. I think this guy loves to race, and I never think that, he's mentally worn down. I think that he is as strong in each car or truck that he's in. Obviously, the truck is such a different animal because it's his own. He owns the team. He wants to race for his team and build it to a point where he can find sponsors to sponsor somebody else. So I think I don't, compared to maybe somebody like Keselowski, who still has to think a lot about what's happening on the Cup side, and some other guys who maybe have struggled on the Cup side but perform well in Nationwide. I think Kyle's a guy. I mean, he gets in and races, and I don't think he overly thinks things. And the other thing is that the cars come so naturally to him. I mean, he understands.
Right, he has a good feel for all these vehicles.
Right, he can drive the car and know exactly what it's doing without really thinking about it.
Does this guy have a weak point as far as a track type he needs to get better on or anything like that? Or is it really just kind of putting the whole thing together here?
I think it's more putting the whole thing together, Tom. I mean, he's going to be a guy who's going to race hard, and he's going to probably make his mistakes, and it's just a matter of overcoming the mistakes. If there's any weakness at all, it's, getting so angry that he loses the focus for the rest of the race.
I don't know why you don't have him number 1 in here with all that, Bob. I mean, he's 4. He's ahead of Kevin Harvick, but he's behind Jimmy Johnson, behind Carl Edwards, behind Denny Hamlin. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, does Kyle deserve to be rated a little higher here?
No, I think 4th is good because I think that, he just from his style, and plus he hasn't really challenged for a championship.
He really hasn't. I mean, that's the thing. People have got this guy winning multiple titles,
Yeah, so you never know. I mean, he has challenged for a Cup championship, so you never know how he'll react in that situation. So that would be something new for him. I mean, I just think the guy's going to go out and race his butt off And, wherever the points land, they land.
All right. Well, it is year 2 with Dave Rogers for Kyle Busch also. I think that's probably a positive sign, too. That's our take on Kyle Busch. 2011 coming up. Can this guy win his first title? For Bob Pockrass of Scene Daily, my name is Bassmasters from Rowdy.com, and we're moving on to number 3.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.